In today's tutorial, I want to talk about piano practice. In particular, I want to teach you a really simple technique that should help you to make much faster progress on the piano. Let's start off by imagining that you're learning a new piece of music. Could be anything. It could be a chord progression that you're learning to improvise on. It could be a song where you're trying to figure out a piano part. You know, you've got melody and chords and you're working out a good way of putting them together. Or, as in the case of the example I'm going to use today, it could be a fully scored out piece of piano music. Yeah? Doesn't matter, it can be any of those things. It can be really easy, it can be really difficult. This technique works across the board. So let's imagine that you've kind of got to grips with this thing, and maybe you've practiced left hand and right hand separately and you've put them together, and you got to the stage where it's beginning to sound kind of okay. Yeah, you're kind of comfortable with it. So let's imagine that you sit down at the piano keyboard one day to practice, and what comes out is something like this. Do you see what happened there? Right at the start, there was a bit that I was very comfortable with, so I started off at quite a quick tempo. Okay, but very quickly I ran into a bit that I found more difficult. Now, when you get to a difficult bit in your piano playing, what your brain is saying to you is, whoa, steady on, I need to process all this information, slow down. So that's what I naturally did. But then when I got to the end of the difficult bit, it was kind of, whoa, sweet relief. I'm back to a bit that I know I can play quite easily. So I sped up again. And actually I sped up to a tempo that was faster than the tempo I started with, because it was like I was kind of rolling downhill. It was like, oh yeah, nearly at the end, past the difficult bit. So when I get to the end there, the natural thing for me to say to myself is, that wasn't too bad. There was just that little bit in the middle where it didn't quite work. I know, I'll try the whole thing again. Ooh, ow, yeah, ooh, nearly there, yeah. Ooh. Yeah, and again I think, not too bad, but didn't quite nail that bit in the middle. Let's try again. Better, but slowing down there, still a bit tricky. Okay, and the instinct is to just carry on repeating and think, yes, I've nearly got it right. Maybe this time I'll get it perfect. Yeah. Now, the problem with that is, and that's a very easy rut to get stuck into. You can very easily get into the flow of playing a piece over and over and over again. But the problem is it's very inefficient as a way of practicing. Let's look at why. Here's a little piece of music that I've got. 2 bars here that I'm really comfortable with. Then there's the 2 bars that I'm finding difficult. And then the final four bars that I'm easy. That I find quite straightforward. So of 8 bars, 6 bars I have no problem with. But if I just play the piece over and over and over again, I'm spending most of my time practicing material that I don't need to practice. Yeah, and I'm only spending actually a quarter of my time, a little bit more because I slow down in it, but I'm only spending a quarter of my time practicing the bit that I need to practice. As I say, that makes for really inefficient piano practice. You'll make much quicker progress on this piece if what you did is say, okay, I need to focus down on the bit that I'm struggling with. Not bad, let's try again. Nearly there. Can I speed it up? Oh yeah, there we go. And then try to slot it into the whole piece. And by doing that, I've been much more efficient in my practice. Now, I've kind of simplified the process there, because in a typical piece of practice you might be working on a longer piece, 16, 32, 64 bars, and there might be a couple of bits that are problematic. But the same thing happens. You play this 64 bar piece and you think, yeah, that was good apart from those 2 bars. I know, I'll go again from the top. And you play it over and over and over, and you only spend a tiny amount of your time practicing the bits you really need to practice. Your motto should always be, in piano practice, attack the problem. Yeah? Focus on the bits you find difficult, isolate them, and play them over and over. Yeah? And that might mean you spend a full 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, even more, just doing this. Yeah? Over and over again until it's just right. And then slot it into your piece of music. Okay, there we go. I hope that was useful. As usual, any comments or questions, stick them in the thread underneath the video. That's where I'm most likely to see them and respond to them. A quick plug for my Patreon crowdfunding campaign, www.patreon.com/Bill Hilton. If you can spare just a bit of loose change, if you like, every month, a few pounds, a few dollars, just to support what I'm doing, that means I can spend much more time making tutorials. And of course, as usual, quick plug for my book, How to Really Play Piano, the Stuff Your Teacher Never Taught You, which actually has a section on practicing well, but is mostly concerned with learning about improvisation and chords and bits and pieces like that. The new book, 7 Studies in Pop Piano, is just grinding slowly towards being done. I'm either going to have it out at the end, right at the end of this month, or a couple of weeks later, because I've got a week's holiday near the start of June, and I don't want to release it just before that. But it is coming soon. And if you're a Patreon subscriber, you will definitely be getting your digital copy, your complimentary digital copy, at the end of this month. Okay, so there we go. Hope to see you again soon. As I say, any questions, just shoot me a line in the comments.